8,
9.
10.
Yes,
Hey, girl, hey.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. Happy Monday to everyone.
Happy Monday.
Um, it's been quite a week thus far. We've recorded this before your Monday, but I want to shout out a cafe in Philly for all my Philly folks. It's called Solar Myth. I would go to a place called Solar Myth. It is on Broad Street. It used to be Boot and Saddle, but it is a jazz bar and cafe. And you walk in, and most you go into cafes and they're like really bright and like, glass windows and plants everywhere. You walk in, this is like a club setting. It's like dark. It's styled. The aesthetic is really nice. It's a long bar because it turns into an actual bar in the evening. So it's a cafe and serves coffee in the day, and then it turns into a bar at night. And they play jazz very loudly. And if you're trying to go to a cafe and do some work, but like have your shit like mixed up a little bit, do something glasses, do something different. It was really refreshing, and I really enjoyed listening to chaotic jazz while I tried to.
What kind of jazz?
No, it wasn't chaotic jazz.
Is it instrumental, or are people singing?
No, it was all instrumental, live? And they did like a little it was like a little electronic experimental, but it not in the like it wasn't crazy or annoying. It was actually, I liked the choice that they had, that they selected. It was actually really it was almost like it was like, I don't know, it's like a hertz, that like a meditative hertz. But when you like hertz. Google online like meditative music, mm-hmm. It was similar to that. It was like really,
I would have been sleep.
Calming.
What work did you get done?
I don't know, but it was a dope setting to like try to do work in, and I enjoyed it. I don't think I could do it all the time.
Is it in?
It's in South Philly. It's where the Boot Saddle used to be. So if you just Google Solar Myth, it looks like you're about to walk them to the club. Like it's not, it doesn't feel like a cafe. But if you want to go like if you're trying to do some creative work, if you're not going to like have a Zoom meeting, it was really fun. And then it made me realize that I'm also projecting onto the city of Philadelphia, where I'm like, this city has nothing. It sucks. I take accountability for that as well, and just realize that I need to be a little bit more active. And so in my practice of dating myself, I'm exploring the city as well. And TBT, I'll let you guys know what's really going on with this city. I also, the same day, I went to go see a psychic.
Wait, what's TBT?
To be determined.
Oh, TBD. Okay.
TBD. What did I say? TBT.
I don't know. You could have said TBD. I don't know.
I think it sounded like TBT. I think I did say that.
I was like, yo, I don't know what that means.
To be transversed.
Anyway,
the same day I talked with my psychic. I'm not going to give her name because I don't want everybody to blow her up. But if you're from Philly, there's an iconic, legendary psychic of Philly that's in South Philly that I went to. I go to her once a year, and I was like, let me go holler at her. And she just reminded me of how much life is ahead of all of us. Like how much life there is, how many different versions of yourself are possible and unfolding. And that this habit to feel like we have to rush, that we are lamenting our past, that we're uncomfortable in our present moment is part of the process, but also like there's just so much ahead of us that we can't even imagine. Like what you're experiencing in this moment, Antoinette 5 years from now, it could be a completely different scene. And she had good things to say, and I felt rejuvenated, and I felt like, all right, I'm on the right track. We're on the right track. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and allow your life to unfold. So Shout out to a crazy week in the city. Seeing my hood nymph psychic and going to a jazz cafe, drinking coffee.
I probably would have knew the music. You made fun of me like,
no,
what?
it was like vessels. I see. I can't even.
I was about to say, go ahead, say it.
This is Miles Davis. That's all I can reference. Dizzy Gillespie.
I love you. My update. I called you. Was that yesterday? It was yesterday, right? Called you yesterday. Very upset. I've been in my feelings. I might be about to get my period, but I shouldn't be. So I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. But I was like so in my feelings yesterday based off of a lot of feedback that I've just been getting. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm doing better with feedback. I'm a very sensitive person. But some of it feels unfair and some of it is absolutely warranted. But the first bit is that I need to correct a very unfortunate mistake that I made last episode. Lift Every Voice and Sing was written by James Weldon Johnson. And I know that. Like, what's crazy is in the moment I got nervous and I Googled it. And instead of, like, I Googled it to make sure that was correct because I didn't want to embarrass myself. And instead of writing full out, Lift Every Voice and Sing, I just wrote Lift Every Voice was written by who? And apparently some black guy named Michael, whatever the fuck we said, wrote a song called Lift Every Voice. And for the life of me, when that episode went out on the episode dedicated to the ancestors, I really poured a lot into that episode. And I really wanted it to be impactful. And unfortunately, I feel like for some listeners who have expressed themselves, and I'll address that, it got lost based off of right after I'm bringing up Dr. Carr for being this influential leader in my life and thought leader, that I make an egregious mistake in that way. So I will say that I appreciate the folks who gently were like, hey, just a FYI, sis, this is not right. There were a couple people, one person in particular, who was just like, you fucked up. And as a such and such alum, you basically need to get it together. And y'all missed the mark. And basically, you should be ashamed of yourself. And a couple of DMs read like that, too. And I just thought to myself, I was upset by it. I can't lie. I was really, really disappointed in myself. And I called you about to cry after I've already edited the episode and put it back up, edited the video and put it back up to have no trace of that mistake. That really upset me. And you walked me through it or whatever. And then there was another voicemail where there was feedback on my relationship with you, which is interesting. And how I interact with you. And in addition to how the projection episode was uncomfortable.
It was awkward to hear, and that we're combative.
It was awkward to hear that there's a change in our energy, that we're combative, specifically me, that I fight to get the last word. And that, me venturing out and doing another podcast could be a sign of our relationship kind of imploding. And I listened to that and I listened back to the episode and I didn't hear combative. I heard two people who had a tiff that lasted all of 15 minutes. And I heard you coming on and saying you projected onto me in that moment. And we were still able to record and have a good episode and work it out in a loving way. And then revisit it to then have me say, oh shit, I think I project onto you as well. I thought it was really beautiful. And I thought that the conversation, I wasn't uncomfortable listening to it. I was proud. I think there was a point at the end where we didn't agree on like having the space to do that kind of self work. I felt like it's a privilege because some people are stuck in survival mode, and I don't know if we agreed on that, but we often don't agree, and that's the beautiful part of our relationship. So I'll leave that there, but I also will say that me doing another podcast is no reflection of anything going on over here. It's an opportunity I had.
That is a beautiful thing. That is an exciting thing. That is you showing up in the world and offering your energy, your knowledge, yourself in another capacity that doesn't dim or reflect or discount anything ever. There's possibilities for even more things to come that doesn't necessarily have to do with us doing it together. And like why that is the assumption is really interesting to me. And in terms of the James Weldon Johnson, who I didn't know.
I could have said
I didn't know. I didn't know. And if you hadn't have known and still offered your love and your respect and your admiration of Dr. Carr, it would have been fine. It wouldn't have diminished anything. Again, this like punitive way that we want to deal with each other. Like, oh, you did this one thing wrong. You're out of here. You're canceled. Everything is discounted is wild to me and does not make any sense. And if you listen to this podcast and haven't been able to grasp the possibility that two things can exist at once, like, first of all, you knew the man's name, you made a mistake. People can make mistakes and still offer insight and information. People cannot know certain, my brain doesn't work. I don't catalog things. I don't remember people's names. I don't remember people's dates. That's just not how my brain works. You're not going to sit here and discredit me and what I have to offer. Or like, I don't understand the punitive dismissal of folks. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I think, if you said, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, it wasn't on purpose. I knew what the person's name was. It's fine. It's fine. But I don't know. I just feel like that is often how we want to tie things up, push people down, discredit someone. I don't know. As far as like our situation, I too listened to the projection episode and I didn't hear anything. I didn't feel that we were combative. I felt like that was we were really listening to each other. We were really going deeper into our relationship. And I hope and I feel, and what I'm experiencing in this relationship is that happening more and more on the podcast, outside of the podcast. And I don't know if people have the access or the insight to continue. I know that people don't have the access nor the insight to continue to make judgments and to make these accusations around our relationship or around who you are to me or how you treat me or vice versa, because you just you don't have the access. Our relationship has been over how long? 10, 15 years? Like you guys are listening to us for 2 hours, on an outlined fucking podcast. You don't have any idea of what we are building together or what we're doing together. And I just think the comments should stop. I think that you just don't know. And I think that we've been really vulnerable and really generous, and really honest to the best of our ability. And we're not here to be duplicit with our audience either. We're not in a space where like we don't fuck with each other and we're arguing, and then we come on in this space and like lie to you guys either. We've been really honest. We've been really clear. And that's our commitment to each other. And that's also, I think, our commitment to the Around the Way Curls community. I couldn't do it if I had to. I couldn't like not fuck with you and then come on here and pretend otherwise. And
yeah, I think that's partly why we started the episode like that and said we just had a tiff. Because it's not performance.
It's not performance. And this is a relationship. And there's no guarantee, again, that tiffs won't happen. But I think we're, again, committed to this. The foundation of this podcast is friendship. And if we can be an example of that, the highs and lows, the ups and downs, the spaces of accountability, the spaces of apology, and showing up and being better for ourselves and each other, then, child, you're either in for the ride or you're on. But like for us to like get back to being a cute little friendship is like, we're not a product. This isn't like a skit or like some
reality show
content
series.
That we're creating to put into a box. So I apologize. I also want to say though, in that reality, if that makes people feel uncomfortable, if that makes people feel like it's awkward, like that, I'm not discrediting your experience, but that I'm not going to, again, be performative or be inauthentic or, I feel like I have to be compelled to explain everything to everybody all the time either. So welcome to Around the Way Curls.
There's that.
I'm like, this is enough.
There's that. So yeah, I've been sitting with that, and it's been honestly getting to me. I've been getting all kinds of feedback for over the course of some months. It's just like been difficult. In other news, I think some of my other sadness is that stupid ass Valentine's Day is coming up. Girl. Every fucking year I'm like, this is gonna be the year, and every year it's not. And I'm just like, all right. I thought about buying tickets to a concert, and then I was like, that's just me trying to show that I'm okay. It's like, I don't really want to go. Like that would be me like, okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to get dressed up. I might even post and show single life is. And honestly, if that's not how I'm feeling, again, I'm not going to be performative and waste my fucking money. But something that did comfort me a little bit, and I picked it up from an old journal. You can tell I've been in my feelings that I'm going back and reading old journal entries now. But it was a Bell Hooks quote, and it helps me manage my little ache for my romantic love. But it said, knowing how to be solitary is central to the art of loving. When we can be alone, we can be with others without using them as a means of escape. And so that's just more work, more practice. And I offer that to the folks who are going to see all of the commercials and all the fucking hearts and all the flowers. And we should be happy for folks who are experiencing that. But just remember that, like, you are always in a relationship, and it's with yourself, and that's corny as shit to listen to and hear and say, but unfortunately it's the truth. So, not unfortunately, fortunately, or not.
But unfortunately.
But yeah. So please rate and subscribe and share Around the Way Girls. Those are our updates. Do you want to talk about Patreon at all?
Well, we also got a lot of wonderful comments and criticism as well. Someone said on our Patreon that they can tell that it's a love fest, or I don't know what exactly the person said. It's
Oh,
bliss.
there's a voicemail.
She said if you have
play
Patreon,
that voicemail. Wait, don't spoil it. I'll play that voicemail next episode.
But you too can
hitting
see
the mic,
the smiles, the laughter, the banter, the exchange between Internet and I on our Patreon. You can sign up and become a patron for as little as $5 a month. And if you want to be real big time, I think it's what? $10? Double that shit. Stop playing with me.
Double down.
Spend that on apps you don't even use anymore. Please come over to the Wild Side at Around the Week Girls Patreon. And as well, for those of you who have been asking for a long time, we do have merch available. It's not brand spanking new, but it's cute. It's still here. It's still available. And it's now online. If you go to www.aroundtheweekgirls.com, you can get crop tees, t-shirts, hoodies, crew necks, even jewelry that represent Around the Way Curls and all of our cute sayings. And it's at a discount. So check that out.
Boop, boop. All right. Let's take a break. Let's take a break before we get into the nitty gritty meat and potatoes. Would you like to sing? Maybe lighten the mood.
What'd you say?
Maybe lighten the mood with your angelic voice.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Was that too heavy of a beginning?
No, it was honest. Listen. This is hurting my ears. Listen, I forgot to say that someone said you two need to rehearse more before you record.
This is also possibilities. Also, we're not making enough to have that happen.
I'm not rehearsing nothing. This is not, like you said it very well. No, you're watching an unfolding. You're listening to an unfolding. And I think that's the compelling thing about the show is that it's real. It's not rehearsed.
Ain't nobody got the time or resources for that, okay?
Right.
Shit.
All right. Let me sit here and act like I know.
I'm just telling them to comment, and then we're like, but no, comment like that. Don't leave reviews like that.
No,
okay?
You can leave reviews, but like some of the shit y'all saying to me is like, yo, you actually gotta fucking chill. Who the fuck are you talking to? Oh my God,
not her fighting imperialist, capitalist, patriarch.
I got to. I was like, let me define this shit. All right, ready? Do you want to do bell hooks? No, Black History? Good. You not shit, yo. You be leaving me out here to dry. I'm going to get something wrong. Somebody going to call me like, you stupid bitch. All right, ready?
You want me to do it?
Do you want to do it? Can you do it? Do you see what I wrote?
I mean, where were you trying to go with this here?
It's just a shout out, just a Black History highlight. Okay. And then I have there's a couple of books, and then I have the imperialist, white supremacist, capitalist, and like I defined it. I can do that part if you want. But just talk your shit about bell hooks, what she means to you, and then give the background on her.
Sure.
All right.
And we are back with our Black History highlight because it is Black History Month. And so we must exalt our ancestors. And unfortunately, it always hits me that bell hooks is now an ancestor. Mm-hmm. I'm actually shocked by that when I really think about it. For those of you who do not know, bell hooks is one of the most instrumental, powerful, and brilliant Black women feminists of our time and writers, just a brilliant mind and being. She was born in Kentucky in 1952. Her birth name was Gloria Jean Watkins. She said, fuck that, bell hooks, drop the capital letters, please. She's a writer, teacher, and cultural critic. She is responsible for publishing over 30 works. Some of them continue to rock us and be almost Bibles at this point, men and women. Her critique of feminism and her love and care that she offers men as well in her positioning and in her hope to bring some changes in gender relationships are some really, really beautiful pieces. Every man and woman, but particularly every man, should read The Will to Change about men, masculinity, and love. One of my all-time favorites, Sisters of the Yam, Black Women and Self-Recovery. It's a hard, very obscure book to buy, but if you go and spend that money, it's like a soft back, it's fairly thin, but it's worth that $40, $30, whatever it is on Amazon. I really recommend it. And of course, often cited and a beautiful work is All About Love. And she just exalted rest. She exalted critical thinking. She exalted Black men, Black women, white women, all the genders to really reflect and take a look at themselves and to come from a place of love as the impetus for their transformation. And
You saying words right now, sis. Do you hear yourself? You've been reading. But
I
keep
fuck
going.
with Bell Hooks, and I need to
can't
read more
hear
of
it.
her. I really do care about her deeply. And I would also recommend that you guys go and search on YouTube Bell Hooks and James Baldwin.
Yeah.
And the banter between those two, first of all, they're brilliant, but they're also look like they have so much fun with each other and like they really love each other. No, it's not James Baldwin. It's
Yeah, I was
what's the
like,
nigga's
wait.
name? Not James Baldwin.
I think
Cornell
West. I think
Oh my
you're
God.
mistaken.
That's
Nikki.
What's her name?
Nikki Giovanni.
Nikki? Yeah, no, not that. It's Bell Hooks and Cornell West.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The banter and they
disagreed quite a bit.
They disagreed, but they loved each other and they just both, I mean, that nigga talking fast and she would keep up with him and cut him down like, actually, you just said a bunch of words. What are you actually saying? But love her.
And I think Bell Hooks is perfect for Valentine's Day week. We often try to remember what these words are that she said, but she coined that imperialist, white supremacist, capitalist, patriarchy.
Girl, just slide off her tongue, too.
Just slide off her tongue. And so I, being who I am, was like, let's define what that actually is. And imperialist, the policy, practice, or advocacy of extending the power and dominion of a nation, especially by direct territorial acquisitions or by gaining indirect control over the political or economic life of other arenas. Then you have white supremacists. We talked about this last week on our ancestor episode, where a person who believes that the white race is inherently superior to other races and that white people should have control over people of other races. And I would add, and the systems that uphold said belief. Then you have capitalists, an economic and political system in which a country's trade and industry are controlled by private owners for profit, I would add, where most often the marginalized are exploited. And then you have patriarchy, a system of society or government in which men hold the power and women are largely excluded from it. These are all concepts and things that we talk about actively now, right? And it's as a result of a critical thinker and a thought leader like Bell Hooks. Like this kind of talk, I don't think was really happening. Am I mistaken? Like not in the way.
Well, not outside of academia. Yeah,
right.
This was all the rage, but no, it wasn't for everybody. I remember the first time I was exposed to her is when she was like, Beyonce is a terrorist. And I was like, what? What the fuck is this? She did not fuck with Beyonce. That's also a good listen as well. But
yikes. Well, we're going to keep it to love. And Bell Hooks also was one of the folks that I believe, for me, she has the definition, the greatest definition of love. And her definition of love was love is a combination of care, commitment, knowledge, responsibility, respect, and trust. She also said love is an action, never simply a feeling. And then she also said a woman of great compassion, courage, and extraordinary intellect. Wait, no, she ain't say that. Cut that out, Mati. My eyes are doing some things with it. That got fucked up. So just leave it as there. So love is never an act. So love is an action and never simply a feeling. So shout out to all the lovers. Shout out to Bell Hooks. I can't. She died at like what? She was only like 60. She was young. 69, 67, 69, something like that. But big shout out to her. And I need to read The Will to Change. I haven't read it. And shout out to the listener who slid in my DMs letting me know that he has a men's club that is actually reading this, or a men's circle. Aww. I don't know if it's a club. He's actually reading this. And he reminded me that I need to read it. So shout out to you know who you are. I don't remember your name right now. Otherwise, I would say it. Moving on to hot shit. I only have one thing, and I just want to say I told y'all so. That DJ Eccentric.
The Philly boy? Is that the boy that you had us in the car listening to?
No, that's a Morpheus or Amorphous or something like that. Okay. DJ Eccentric, that was who I played that Beyonce Wetter or the Cuff It Wetter. Mm-hmm. His mix of that on here.
You did. You cut your finger on the pulse, Queen.
And Beyonce snatched that up and gave him that producer credit. And I'm so happy for him. We follow him on Twitter. Shanti ain't on there just yet. But he has been tweeting like Filipinos up. It's just like the best.
Oh, he's Filipino? I love that.
And we follow each other on Instagram. I'm like, I immediately DM'd him. Was like, I'm so happy that these, like, all the clearances happened so that she could use this. And I just want you to blow the fuck up. And he is riding the wave. Like, he posts about it every day, all day, as he fucking should. Talk your shit, Eccentric. Shout out to you. He also was like, do you understand that Beyonce heard what I did and went back into the booth, wrote like an intro, and then wrote a whole new... You haven't heard it?
I have heard it, but I didn't know that it was edited. I thought it was just his mix that she like...
No, you didn't hear it. I sent it to you. It starts off completely different. She has a whole like rap verse in there where she's talking her shit.
I just saw whatever she posted online and I did not see no rap, but whatever.
I sent you the track. Why didn't you listen to it?
I didn't listen to that. I listened to whatever she just posted.
Yeah, you only listened to like a clip. It's only like 10 seconds of it. She's got a whole thing on there. It's different. What he did is different. She added background vocals. She added all kinds of shit. It's cool.
I hope he's getting a little bit of coin.
Oh, he better. I'm sure he did. She gave him a producer credit, as she should. So shout out to him. That's the only hot shit I have.
ESENTRIK.
Wait, I don't know if I spelled that right now.
Oh my God. I thought...
Don't do that. Now, don't stress me out. I spelled it right. His name is John. Very proud of him. Very, very proud of him.
By you, John. Shout out DJ Eccentric.
It's not on Spotify and things just yet. You have to buy it from her website. The same way, we had to buy the remix with Madonna, which I loved, but the Queen's mix. Anyway, moving right along. Oh, it's me. Politics as usual. Ciao. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this because we have a lot to talk about. But Ilhan Omar. Do you know what happened for her?
Mm-mm.
They didn't kick her ass off the Foreign Affairs Committee. Oh, God. And now Joe Rogan is caping for her. He's sticking up for her, and he getting into all kinds of trouble. Because, okay, this is what happened. Let me break it down in, like, the easiest way possible. The Republicans were pissed off that Marjorie Taylor Greene and Paul Gosar were kicked off of their committee assignments in 2021 when they posted some stuff on social media that showed AOC like getting a head cut off. It was like a cartoon or like some sort of like virtual reality thing. It's not funny. But they got kicked off of their assignments for just their outlandish behavior. I don't even know. I don't think Marjorie Taylor Greene even posted that. I think she may have commented on it, but she was doing her own stuff that was just running amok. Democrats ousted them. So now they had a bone to pick. And you have to realize that McCarthy, who is the Speaker of the House, has been chumming it up with that very, very, very far right conservative bloc of the Republican Party. And so he took it upon himself to force the removal of Ilhan Omar, taking it all the way back to when she tweeted, "It's all about the Benjamins, baby," in response to work that we were doing with Israel. I believe, yeah. So this, I don't know if folks remember this, but this is like in 2019. And this sparked Donald Trump to show more of his colors. And he basically went on and was like, you know what? Ilhan Omar and the squad need to go back to their countries.
Oh,
meanwhile,
no,
she was the only one not born in America, but she is completely a citizen. And that was like, wait,
she's from Somalia.
Yeah, which is worse.
Somalia.
Somalia. Yeah. All about the Benjamins, or like this, like everybody's wrong and really screwed up in this like political just show, right? So they have this vote on Thursday. And, you know, a lot of folks on the Democratic side spoke out. AOC has a speech where she spoke out very vehemently in support for her girl, like as she should. And basically, what's concerning here is that, one, this is taxpayer dollars. Like, in order for them to do this work and oust folks, like, and have these stupid ass hearings, it's just more taxpayer dollars wasted. But also, the real issue is that the Republicans also have folks within their party that have said anti-Semitic things, and they have no like.
Where's the same energy?
There's like the hypocrisy is there. Even the person who was ousted, Paul Gosar, has said anti-Semitic things. So it's really just like this eye for an eye thing. They also have folks that have been Holocaust deniers, shit like that. So now we're in this political world where the House is controlled by the Republican Party, the Senate is controlled by the Democrats, and you just are going to have like this kind of political theater, you know, where it's just, you're not getting anything done. Like, what bills are you passing? Instead, you're getting an eye for an eye with Ilhan Omar, who's already publicly apologized many times. And I don't know, let me not say that. Joe Rogan, his thing is like, her tweeting, it's all about the Benjamins. What is the problem with that? His, not mine, his thought process is, well, we would be lying. And he said this, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said, we would be lying if we didn't discuss how motivated the Jewish community has been with money, and how they've have accrued a lot of capital, and in like many areas of the country. I know and I respect, what is the man's name? He used to be the head of The Daily Show. He was the Daily Show, not Trevor Noah, the one right before him. What was his name? And he has a new show with John, The Daily Show. One second. Host, former. What is his name? Yes. Jon Stewart. I really like Jon Stewart. I think Jon Stewart is a very self-aware person. Jon Stewart went on to talk about how that trope of Jewish folks being all about money is deeply hurtful. And I'll be honest, I don't understand it, but I believe it based off of like, I could see that it was very hurtful and that there's like a disconnect there. I'm not connected to the community enough to understand the why, and why that feels like violent and dangerous to say. But I believe that it is, if that's what folks are saying. I do think that there's certain groups that
But what, was she referring to the Jewish people generally, or was she referring to
the policy,
America's relationships with Israel, in which we fund and send billions of dollars for them to occupy?
That's where I was
and
going
control.
With it. Yep.
Like,
I do think that there is a deep sensitivity towards, if you say anything about Israel and the way that they operate politically, that we're often told it's anti-Semitic. And I don't know if the two equate. You know, like, I think that it's possible, as we say on here all the time, two things can exist at once. We can criticize Israel for how they operate and for many of their policies and for, you know, their treatment of Palestinians without being anti-Semitic. And maybe the tweet was anti-Semitic. I don't know. But all I know is we're all fucking hypocrites within the political sphere. So this is all a joke. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
No, I mean, similarly, it seems like tit for tat. This is like a chess move. Like you said, it seems like it's something, you know, that they had this beef since a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it is such a, we had this happen with Kanye. Any discussion around the Jews, quote unquote, is very...
You can't say the Jews.
Well, how he said it, you know, in terms of like the stereotypical, or, you know, not stereotypical, if you're stereotyping the Jews, generalizing.
The collective, right, generalizing.
Mm-hmm. Or like the big bad Jews. The Jews are controlling the world, money, da 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 da. Yeah. I feel like any critique or mention of Israel, its policies, its motives, automatically means that you're calling them the big bad Jews. And I don't know. It's crazy making, to say the least. It's gaslighting. It's like, it's avoiding accountability, or not even accountability. It's avoiding a conversation that needs to be had, that deserves to be had. Yeah. By just saying, oh no, this is anti-Semitic. It just squashes any real discourse around America's involvement in Israel and Palestine. And it feels suspiciously, it feels suspect.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I agreed.
Call a spade. It's suspect. It's frustrating. It's crazy making. It's gaslighting. It's, why the hell not? Anyway. We are ruining any chance of...
Don't say it. Okay. Don't say it, child. All right. And moving right along. The State of the Union address happened with Joseph Robinette Biden. This was the first one where he addressed the nation in the new Republican majority House. Did you watch it?
I didn't. I heard about it yesterday.
I watched it today. I didn't catch it during, but I actually he
spin hot
flubbed
fire
a little bit. There's some funny things going on social media right now, but he was talking about the LGBTQ community, and he fucked them letters up, baby. Some letters got away from him. I said, "Oh, Joe," but he actually did really well, in my humble opinion. He's just an older man, but he ain't dumb now. He went on there. He mentioned
true. That is it.
That
Joe is old, but Joe ain't dumb.
No.
Okay? He
Let
might
me tell you
be,
what he did.
What did he do?
He had a very clever moment where he talked about Social Security and Medicare. And he said, this is not the position of all the Republicans, but some of them. And then he talked about how they are trying to basically get rid of it. They're trying to phase it out. And the Republicans are like, boo! One, that doesn't, like, there's Marjorie Taylor Greene is screaming liar at him. One, you don't do, like, that doesn't
the UK
happen.
Parliament?
Right. Like, that's not really how we handle things here. And he was like, wait, and they're talking over him. It's too long to play, and I was searching for a more succinct clip, but he let them go, and then he kept talking about it, and then they would boo some more, and he said, wow, okay, so I want to work across the aisle. And what it sounds like to me is that no one wants to get rid of Social Security and Medicare. This is the first bipartisan step. I hear you all. And the Democrats are like, yeah, they're getting up cheering because it was brilliant what he did. It's like right in front of the American people, you're booing me saying that you're trying to do this. So great. And he literally said, it sounds like I will never see a bill where Social Security and Medicare is in jeopardy. Great. We are working together already. And I just thought, chestnut checkers. He set it up so perfectly. And in my mind, it was like only an older person in my mind would do that, would craft that and be like, yeah, they going to boo me here to watch me work because I know how these kids operate. They think I'm slow.
Kids.
But he talked about police brutality, which I was proud of him for, again, specifically against Black and Brown communities. He talked about, how there is a need for us to reinstate the trust between the police and communities. Tyree Nichols's parents were in the building. He talked a lot about foreign policy. It's all America first. We're going to be making things here. We wanted this, we wanted that. Sadly, he did not mention the crisis in Syria and Turkey. And I do want to mention that awful earthquake has been, I think that's also why I'm in my feelings. It's so sad. And then I read something today where a young girl was protecting her brother, sheltering him. And when she was found, she said, please save me. I'll be your servant.
Oh my God.
That gives you insight into the mindset and the lives that folks are already living. And it just broke me down. I don't want to derail, but it was very sad. But I thought it was interesting that he didn't mention it. I think a big part of it is that Americans seem very frustrated and over all of the aid that's going to Ukraine. So he really crafted his foreign policy stance to be America first. And this is how we're bringing back jobs and X, Y, and Z. He talked about the low employment rate, inflation finally starting to go down. He mentioned
unemployment rate or low unemployment
rate. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. He also mentioned corporations paying their fair share of taxes so that we can offer 2 years of college for free, free preschool, all these things that he's been talking about, but he can't get past. A couple things he slid over that China balloon, which, what the fuck? Let's get into the China balloon real fast. That Chinese balloon now, that spy balloon. A lot of people are like, well, Americans spy on China too. And absolutely the fuck we do. And you're dead ass right. I think the thing that's very interesting is that China is doing it now, especially when we're having this kind of proxy war with Russia through Ukraine. I also think it's interesting that, their language that they use was like, we're very disappointed in the US for shooting it down. And there's
so weird. It's so weird. It's unbelievably weird.
Girl, we are worried about Russia and we should always be worried about China because China is still pissed off with us for backing Taiwan. And for those folks who don't have that background, when the Chinese government collapsed due to its own civil war and communism taking over, the existing government and the followers fled to Taiwan and they established rule there. And the US has always supported Taiwan as its own sovereign nation. And so for China, they're like, yo, fuck y'all getting on my nerves because we, of course, don't support communism, yada, yada, yada. So he glazed over that very quickly. But something that he did not mention was the attack on and the erasure of Black history and the attack on education and certain books. And I was disappointed in that. And then I realized, like, oh, for his State of the Union address before he's about to start campaigning, I'm sure he did not want to even mention the governor who's possibly going to be the person that he's running against eventually. He didn't want to mention what's his name?
Santos.
Yeah, it's DeSantis. Yeah. So maybe that's it. I don't know. I hope that it's on his agenda to address. But for those of you that didn't see it, you can watch on YouTube. I'll get off of this subject. You can watch on YouTube. And I don't know. That's it. I suggest you watch it or at least read about it so you know what the hell's going on in the world, or what he's trying to, how he's trying to position himself. I don't know if half of it's not going to get done because they're going to block it. But
that China, Russia dynamic, Taiwan, Ukraine dynamic is really interesting.
Yeah.
It's very tricky.
Yes.
No, I don't want no beef
with China,
Russia or China.
No.
We don't want no beef.
Mm-mm. We don't know what it is to fight a war on our land either. It's just nothing but devastation. Like your whole life. Somebody come over here and bomb New York. I don't live here. I'm not doing a podcast. I don't have the job I have. I'm just literally somewhere else.
Become a refugee, girl.
Right.
You leave.
Trying to survive.
Keeping it positive on Around the Way, girls.
Anyway.
Come here for all of your refreshing, positive distractions from the chaos of the world.
We got to let the folks know what the hell's going on. Moving right along. There is a...
It gets even worse.
It gets worse, child.
Like, Lord, help me.
There's a bill being proposed in Massachusetts, which I hope fails miserably. Basically saying that folks in jail, this is what they're proposing. Folks in jail could offer their organs for donation for lighter sentences. And I saw, because I don't follow the Shade Room anymore, but Around the Way Curls does. And I saw this on the Shade Room and was like, what? And when I read it, I was horrified. And what made me sadder was folks in the comments like, oh, that's what's up. Get them years off. Or like, and I just was like, nobody's thinking about.
What kind of organs?
What you mean? What kind of organ? What's an organ, girl?
What's a kidney? I guess.
Yes.
A kidney. What else? They probably
things you got two of. I don't know. Things you can live without.
A lung.
Can you live with one? Oh, I guess you can. We can have a collapsed lung, and yeah. I want to play this clip. Okay.
That is so. They just getting blatant with it now. Because don't act like this shit ain't a part of America's practices in the first place now.
Girl.
They're just trying to make it, politicize it, trying to make it legit.
Can you put the time on for me for this clip?
Y'all want to make the hoteps go crazy, man. You're giving them real reasons to feel justified. Is he saying anything into that? I can't hear anything.
Okay, can you put this time, please? Monty, edit that out. Shanti couldn't hear. Dios mío. All right, so I need to play this from my phone then. That's a discovery. So you couldn't hear anything. Okay. Stop it, please. Now I gotta find it on my damn phone, child. Oh no, Philadelphia Catholic school students pose in blackface and send
no, we can't talk about that too.
We can't. I'm not going to.
And what was she spraying on that girl's face? What was that?
What school is this? Can you stop?
In the Northeast, girl.
She
in the Northeast.
My chair up. Oh, they look like Northeast girls. What the?
You're like, Happy Black History Month.
What's up?
Yo. Another one of them episodes, huh?
Questions about Medicare?
You said keep our name out your mouth, and also take this.
Basically bargaining their body parts, dangling it over them, and telling them that should you choose to donate, then or become a donor, I should say that's what you said. You like to what?
That's what I'm talking about. That's what you said. Like, if I'm going to sign away that I'm going to be a donor, why would I trust that my life is safe with you? Because because there's a shortage. It's almost as if this is awful.
Girl, right, what am I writing? What?
No. I'm just trying to find the time. 52, 53. Okay. It's so much harder to find the clip time on the phone. But you could hear Dr. Carr, right?
Yeah.
Why could you hear Dr. Carr and then not this? Because I played Dr. Carr from the computer too. Shit don't make no sense. This should just be doing stuff. All right, ready? Yeah. One day we're going to figure it out. Okay. Now we're ready. This is the time. 56:55. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ready? 57:04.
The thing that disappointed me about this wasn't this as much as the reaction to something that I posted on the Shade Room. You know, I like to comment on the Shade Room comments. I like to get in there, drop a one-liner, get out.
What did you post?
I said, America will never stop feasting on Black lives. And it was met with not one, not two, not three, not four, 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, but 10 people who said, hey, it's not only Black people that are in prison. It's all different types of people that are in prison. Why are you making it seem like it's only Black people in prison? Consider what's being asked of the incarcerated person in this situation. What's being asked is to give a literal piece of yourself for free. A literal piece of yourself.
Yeah.
Consider what's being asked of you as a Black person, a Black woman in this country. Just to give a piece of yourself to exist peacefully in America all the time. To give a piece of your dignity when talking to the police, to give a piece of your safety when you're delivering a baby. Giving a piece of your sanity when you enter the workplace. America is always asking for pieces of Black people. And normally, what they tell you is that in exchange for the piece of yourself that you give to them, they'll give you the freedom and the safety that the people who don't have to cut appendages off of their bodies and souls get just for having been born. They tell you that they're going to do you that you're going to get that. And then you get to a point in your life where the remaining parts of you just want to fight.
So that is Van Lathan. That is not Van Jones. He would never say that, but that is Van Lathan from Higher Learning. Him and Lindsay talking their shit. But I don't know. His insight on it, I think, summed it up for me. It put into words what I was feeling, but didn't know how to articulate. What about you?
Very interesting. I think it's important to say that this is proposed by Democrats.
Yes.
I think it shows what so many, we mentioned Bell Hooks and Cornel West, have to say about the neoliberals, is that there is this idea, this exalting of good deeds, right? Like offering your organs in any other context is very generous. It's very sacrificing. It is selfless to give your organ to somebody that's in need. And like trying to make sense of or trying to connect that with something that is really heinous,
exploitive,
just devious. It's actually devious to put those things together. I feel like is a really interesting critique of Democrats. And the fuck.
I think it's interesting
what
that they most likely did this to say, "Oh, look, prison reform." It's like, that is what you think? I'm confused. Anyway, wild times. Wild fucking times. I don't know who's in these rooms. I don't know who's advising these folks. These people have teams. This is a team of folks who thought this was a good idea. Yes, there's so many, every political person. I know somebody who works for the Hakeem Jeffries campaign. It's a team of folks. There's all kinds of strategists and everything else, the advisors. Even more concerning, that multiple people thought good idea. So let's get into something else. Let's brighten the mood. What happened last weekend?
Is it going to brighten the mood? I think it's going to make people more enraged. We're going to talk about the 65th annual Grammy Award wins and losses. I am so upset. I miss the good old days that you could just not watch the show, but you can go on YouTube and see the videos play back. Know. I couldn't, for the life of me, I couldn't look up any of the performances.
Really? They took them down already?
Yeah, maybe it was because I tried to look the day after that CBS was so, had such restricted any other uploads of the videos. Like I couldn't even find people's ghetto home joints on YouTube at that time. That was the day after. Maybe they have leaked now and are everywhere. But I wanted to see all the performances. I was really excited about it, but I didn't get to see it. Did you watch it in real time?
No, I didn't get to watch it in real time. I was out, but there is a way that you can rewatch. No, there's a way you can rewatch. You can head to livegrammy.com for more exclusive content, and then you can see it on CBS.
No, they try to get you subscribe.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
free trial.
I think I have a thingamajig for you to.
Either way, I was not able to watch all of them, but
so you didn't see the hip hop thing either.
Say that again.
You didn't see the hip hop tribute.
I saw clips of it, but I didn't get to see it from the beginning to the end, and I wish that I could have. But there were some incredible performances, like Bad Bunny. I really would have. I'm kind of like
Bad Bunny. He's amazing.
I know very little about Bad Bunny and like his career, but I'm really invested in it. You know who else I'm slowly becoming very intrigued by? Little Uzi Vert. I'm obsessed.
Is that
with
the
that
Philly
little Philly nigga?
It's the Philly bull, right?
I just want to rock.
Right.
Yeah, does it?
I have a real issue with people saying that passed Dreams and Nightmares as the Philly anthem. And also,
listen.
When did Dreams and Nightmares pass What We Do? I'm just confused.
Girl, we
Put
old.
some respect on Freeway's name, but go ahead.
We old. But I just love to watch him. He is such an interesting human being.
You know who his girlfriend is, right?
Yes, it's
your best friend's best friend, JT.
Interesting. So interesting.
She was like, "Yeah, he weird, but he love me, so."
I know that's
I love him,
right. The most notable awards went to Best Rap Album to Kendrick for Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Yay! The Best Song went to Bonnie Raitt, Just Like That, which I'm not mad at. Shout out to Bonnie. Big ups to her. Still getting her flowers. Best Record, in which I just, for clarification, song and record are different in that record includes all of the performance as well. And I think, and songwriters, I believe. And then song is just the actual song. I might have just messed that up. But one includes like the team and the performance. The other one is just maybe just about the writer. Not sure. Anyway, the best record of the year went to Lizzo, About Damn Time. Best new artist, Antoinette, is very happy to again have had her finger on the pulse. Samara Joy.
Did I play her on here? Or did I talk about her at least?
Probably.
I know I played her on See the Thing Is, and they clowned me. They were like, girl, don't come in here with that kind of music no more. And all week I've been tweeting them to girls like, I was playing her YouTube clip.
Well, shout out to that young. She looks so
Samara
cute.
Joy
Look
from
just
the
so,
Bronx.
Go ahead. Shout out to her. What's her style? Is it like jazz? Is it like?
Yeah, she sounds like Sarah Vaughan. She sounds like
fuck it up, young girl.
soul. Like
I think you have shared her music, and I was taken aback.
Yes, she's amazing. She's amazing.
Best rock song, Brandy Carlisle, Broken Horses. Let me tell you something.
I don't know that.
I love Brandy. Brandy can sing, and
Not
she can write.
Confused with Moesha.
I fuck with Brandy, and I'm very impressed by her. I listened to her on NPR. I did see her
sing. She performed, right?
And that's why I wanted to watch. It must have been good because she is no joke.
Good.
She is an artist.
Yeah.
And then Best Spoken Word Album. Come on now. Viola Davis, who even knew it was out. Shout out to her. She's an EGOT. Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony.
Don't skip over Robert Glasper.
I know. I am. Okay. I'm not. I feel like those require more conversation.
Okay.
She wrote of her win. I wrote this book to honor the 60. Oh, excuse me. I wrote this book to honor the 6-year-old Viola, to honor her life, her joy, her trauma, her everything. Davis said in her acceptance speech, and it has been such a journey. And she is. Don't fuck with her. Like
EGOT, baby. Shout out to Viola because she follows us.
The God.
With
some controversy attached is the Best R&B Album by Robert Glasper.
Deserved to win.
To Leandra, who listens to Around the Way Curls and is part of his management team. This was a win for you as well. Congratulations, baby girl.
Big ups.
Yeah, and Chris Brown was like, who the fuck is Robert Glasper?
Let me tell you something. I immediately saw that. When I saw that, I immediately tweeted, like, he's done a lot of questionable things, but this is so cringe. Like, if anything about Chris Brown, you can say a lot about his personal choices, X, Y, and Z, but I never question him as a musician, as a singer. You know, like, he's talented, okay? When he said this, I was just taken aback. Like, how?
But like, it's his genre of music. Why would he know Robert Glasper?
Why would he know Robert Glasper? I don't understand.
Why would he assume that he listens to Robert? Is affiliated?
You don't have to listen. How do you not know? This isn't Robert Glasper's first rodeo. I think this is his 5th Grammy. Also, Robert Glasper has touched like half of the musical tributes. He's similar to Adam Blackstone and Questlove. Like his hands have touched so much. How do you not know? It ain't touch
Chris Brown's. It ain't intersect with Chris Brown.
Well, listen, I was disappointed in The Root, the publication The Root, because they published this article that was like, Chris Brown's apology is a little too late. And it was literally the next day. So how is that a little too late? Okay. But also like, when he realized who it was and dug in, obviously somebody pulled him to the side. Was like, bro, what you doing? He posted a public apology. He sent it to Robert Glasper himself, which Robert doesn't need to. He don't owe Chris nothing. But it's like, what else do you want him to do? I read it. It felt heartfelt. Like, Jesus. Again, it's this punitive things. Like, what do you want him to do?
You're dead to me. You're done.
Right. He can't go back in time. At least he acknowledged, yo, I just listened to some of your catalog. It's fucking fire. I was tripping. I apologize. I wish you and your family nothing but the best. Eat. Congratulations, bro. What do you want?
But do you think, Robert, that style of music should be included with?
Well, what
I
is
also
it?
read that Chris Brown was like, we shouldn't be in the same genre. We're not doing the same thing. Your R&B is not my R&B.
Well, he's pop R&B.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not.
Well, here's the thing. It's the Grammys. And that was Chris Brown's thing. He was like, they do black music wrong anyway because they just put a bunch of black people in a category. I don't disagree with that. But also, it's the fucking Grammys. I get that we were so hyped when Jasmine won her Grammy. It's a way to exalt folks. We feel like, oh, that's the pinnacle. But we got to stop that too, because they don't even understand the music, really. So it's just kind of like.
We can see from the further decisions that the Grammys made.
God.
The Queen. First of all, that was on her top. I was like, oh my God. Y'all digging in? Y'all digging in? Leave her alone. Fucking, what's his name?
Trevor.
The South African boy.
Trevor
was all like, oh, you're late, but now you're here. So happy to see you. Da-da-da-da. Like, leave her alone. Everybody was hype. And then gonna give her these little rinky-dink nomination awards. They're not rinky-dink, but in terms of like the heavy hitters, like people are there. What? Girl, you keep acting like that cat is a child.
I'm sorry, she's clawing at my coat right now, and there's nothing I can throw at her
that beautiful coat, because it looks like her mother. It reminds me of her mom. Beyonce won for Dance Electronic Recording, Dance Electronic Album, R&B Performance, and R&B Song, but she lost to the major nominations, as been her history. With the Grammy. She has lost 15 times in those major categories that we just went over. Best album, best record. But she hasn't even won best new artist. Are you fucking kidding me?
Who beat her for best new artist?
Who knows? Somebody that we don't even mention anymore. Somebody that is not even in the lexicon of pop music, probably. Segment probably was like.
She was ever nominated for best new artist.
I bet she was. When B Day came out, when she did solo, she definitely was.
Her first album was not B Day. It was
whatever. What was her first album? Her solo album.
Love.
Oh, child.
Was that the name of it?
Not
Crazy
probably.
Love was on it. Baby Boy, all that. Dangerously in Love. Was that the name of the album?
Dangerously in Love.
Listen, she broke the record. I get it.
It don't mean nothing. It does mean something, but it's a slap in the face. How could you not? Renaissance? First of all.
I think that was my best record, but I didn't even listen to half the other ones.
According to Spin, Black artists have won Album of the Year only 3 times in this millennium. That's
Outkast, Lauren, and Herbie Hancock?
I don't know. But what? Are you fucking kidding me?
Let me see. Keep going.
Are you fucking kidding me? That just feels like, that's like saying in sports, I don't know what the highest accolade, let's say VIP. That's like saying the most valuable player has only been, acknowledged 3 times in this millennium. Are you fucking kidding me? That is the base, the heartbeat, the blood, sweat, and tears of music. Is Black music in this country?
They said in this millennium. What did they say? What was the stat? I want to make sure it's
according
correct.
to Spin. Black artists have won Album of the Year only 3 times in this millennium.
What is this millennium?
Girl.
Yeah. So anyway, real fast. Since 1957, only 11 Black artists have won Album of the Year. And I have to just caveat this. A Black artist won Album of the Year last year, who happens to be my friend, which is Jonathan Batiste. So Album of the Year has gone real fast, has gone to Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, Lionel Richie, Quincy Jones, give them their flowers, Natalie Cole, Whitney Houston, Lauryn Hill, Outkast, Ray Charles, Herbie Hancock, I knew he was in there, and Jonathan Batiste. Still not enough. Because Black artists
that's crazy to me.
Everything. But okay. We gotta
She's
stop
lost to Taylor Swift,
about this.
Beck, Adele.
Beck's album was fire. I hate unpopular opinion. The album
compared to Lemonade?
She didn't lose to Lemonade.
Yes,
Lemonade lost to Adele.
That's what I'm saying. Whose album did you say was fire?
Beck. I didn't say Adele's fire.
Well, that's what I want to talk about. Okay.
Beck's album was.
I feel the only albums that Beyonce
was Renaissance
created that could have actually been qualified for best album would have been Lemonade and Renaissance. And Lemonade, not because of the album, but because of the actual impact that it had on the fucking world.
Lemonade, the music. If you strip, what's your girl's name? The poet?
Worcestershire.
If you strip Worcestershire from that and the visuals from it, and you sit down with the album only, A Seat at the Table was better. Like, it just, Lemonade in totality as the full project, from the visuals to how she incorporated the poetry, to how she delivered it, to how she then went on tour, the reconciliation of her husband, with her and her husband's relationship, huge impact. The music, I heard someone say, I am a huge fan of Beyonce. I'm not the biggest fan of her music. And I understood it. I happen to be a big fan of her music, but I don't think that she's had many albums that deserve album of the year.
But I think Renaissance
did, and
is a masterpiece.
Absolutely. That is a solid project. That's something you listen from front to back, no skips. It is a piece of work. And it was such a risk. It was so different for her. It inspired. It was musically, sonically interesting. Her vocals delivered.
And she was like, and I'm not putting no fucking visuals out so you guys can say that it wasn't just the visuals that pushed the album. Maybe that's why she's actually done it, is because she was frustrated by Lemonade and the fact that everybody was like, the album was mid, but the visuals really did it for us. She was like, all right, well, I'm going to put an album out there and not do any visuals so y'all motherfuckers know what it is. I think that is ridiculous. I think the fact that she did not win this year. In the past, okay, maybe she shouldn't have won Album of the Year, but in terms of the songs, the records, as with Lizzo's qualifications, she should have won that in the past. And the fact that she didn't, and she lost, and she never won in any of those major categories is asinine.
She never won Song of the Year either? Really?
Mm-hmm. Wow. From what Spin said, but also who knows?
Spin is
I don't know. Spin. Where are they at?
Well, listen, the other album that I thought could have possibly won Album of the Year from her was her self-titled album, that surprise album that dropped.
And it rocked and changed the way that albums were released. Are you fucking kidding me?
But that's
and you're not going to put that into your...
But she was up against Beck that year. I'm sorry, Beck's album was so good.
I didn't listen to Beck.
It was,
and maybe I should. I will. And maybe I'll listen to Harry Styles. But the way that they said that she lost to Theon Greyjoy, I don't think I will. When I saw that, I doubled over. I screamed in that jazz cafe. I did.
She did win Song of the Year. She won Song of the Year for Single Ladies. In fact, the 32 Grammys that Beyonce has collected over the last 2 decades, only one has been a major prize, and that's Song of the Year, which she won in 2010 as writer for Single Ladies. Wow.
And maybe
there's all these things that
let's
should
think
never
about it now.
attend another.
Let's think about it now. What other song should she have? Single Ladies rocked the world.
Mm-hmm.
I can't listen to that song now. Can't stand it. But what other song?
Is it possible that Beyonce doesn't
Crazy in Love
for other people what she does for us? I mean, that's her first album. I feel like that was something that They weren't
No,
going to give
everybody's
her
obsessed
in your
with her.
first album. But Crazy in Love, I don't know.
No.
I don't know. What other
Maybe
song would have been
so
Song of the Year? Let's go. On Dangerously in Love, all you got really there is Crazy in Love. Then you have the Deja Vu. No, that's not going to be. What was her third album? Sasha Fierce thing. No, nothing from there.
Well, that's what Single Ladies was on.
Oh, Single Ladies. Okay. And that was like Get Me Bodied and Diva and all that, right?
Yeah, no. I don't
even think I'm saying this right. What was Kitty Cat on?
B-Day.
Oh, Deja Vu was B-Day. I'm saying the things wrong. I don't even remember all her albums. And then you have...
Listen, for me, it's Lemonade and Renaissance, okay?
Renaissance was powerful. I don't know that Break My Soul was going to be Song of the Year. Sorry.
No.
I don't think it was the right single to lead with. So maybe that was part of the problem. That was her big single. And could Cuff It have been it? Maybe if she would have led with Cuff It, Cuff It challenge with Crazy, all that. Maybe if that was the first thing she released.
Well, it wasn't nominated though. She can't choose.
Right, because Break My Soul was the single from the album. That was the standout.
Are we mad at the Grammys then? Are we mad?
This is my point. It's like
I am mad. She should have won Album of the Year.
She should have won Album of the Year.
Renaissance is refreshing and fantastic.
Same.
Incredible.
But it's messed up for us to say that and we haven't listened to the other songs either, or the other albums.
I like Harry Styles. I really like Harry Styles. I said it
too.
before. I really like him. I think he's an incredible artist. I'm also very intrigued by him.
He's probably before we go from this, I do want to, or do you have a clip to play or?
No.
I do want to just mention the hip hop tribute. And I need to find it because I watched it on YouTube. So I'll try to find it for you or at least give you my login. I thought it was done by Questlove, curated by Questlove. DJ Jazzy Jeff, shout out to Philly, up there doing his Thug Thizzle. And there were so many folks. You got Jada and the Locks. You got it was dope. It was really dope. And LL, people don't give LL the respect that he really deserves in this hip hop world, but LL was that dude. Okay? And he kind of started off right away saying, there's no way that everybody could be included in this. It would have been impossible, but we're going to do our best, right? I mean, you have Missy come out, you got Queen Latifah come out, and I forget, when Queen Latifah raps her voice, she yo, I actually miss you. Can you do something?
Aww.
No, it was fire. It was yo, people were really vibing. Jay was having a great time. It was weird to me to have a hip hop tribute and Jay's not in it, but he closed out the Grammys with God Did. So it was just wait, what? But the biggest thing that I think folks were frustrated with, and a lot of people apparently declined to do it, two things. The thing that I noticed was where the fuck is Cash Money Records, yo? How do you?
The South wasn't represented.
They had Nelly in there. He did Hot in
Is
Here.
he okay? His eyeballs rolling around.
I'm not gonna. I have no idea. But they had Nelly in there. They had Big Boy. They did have Big Boy, but Big Boy without Andre, a lot of people are boo. But it was the rap of today that the old heads put on Such and So. Busta came out. And he just doing his thing, and it's yo, Bust. But the folks that they chose to be the people that they exalted for today was just why wasn't Kendrick up there? We didn't need old girl. What's her name? Glorilla. We didn't need.
She was there. Well, because they are making waves right now.
Got it. But I wasn't feeling who they chose. To
and they had Lil Uzi Vert come out there.
They did, and then they had what is it, Lil Baby? He can actually rap, but their showmanship is so subpar. It's so subpar. It's oh man, y'all got showed up by the old heads.
55-year-olds.
Yo, and they killed it. LL's up there like he can still rock the stage. He's not out of breath. Like there's a certain dynamic that they bring. Missy's out there doing her fucking thing.
She looks so good.
Girl. And I hope she
Shout
gets
out to
inducted
Missy.
into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Please vote
Shout
for
out
her,
to
y'all.
Missy.
But it was just lacking from our generation. It was lacking. And I think that's why, not saying that Armani...
They're not our generation. That's JoJo and them
Yeah, that is
kids.
not our generation.
That ain't us.
No,
Look
you're
at
right.
us trying to be young. We ain't,
But it was just like, yeah, it was strange. Those things were strange, but I don't like the fact that Quest is getting all this hate. And he like posted and was like, y'all need to leave me the fuck alone. Like, you don't know anything. Same as we like started out this episode. You don't know anything. And a lot of people declined. And there's no way to include everyone. And you don't have the backstory. But Jazzy Jeff, I was so fucking proud of him, especially since somebody, I forget what publication, or maybe it was like a famous like cultural, I don't know, like a DJ Envy. It wasn't DJ Envy, but that kind of person was like, who's Jazzy? DJ Jazzy Jeff is a real DJ? I thought he was just an actor on The Fresh Prince.
DJ Envy saying something.
No, he didn't say that. I'm saying someone who has that kind of role, a radio personality or something like that. I can't remember who said it, but it was dope. I was hyped. Jay was elated. The camera kept going to him, and he was just like rapping, doing his thing, like, oh shit. It was dope. It was really dope. I thought that they did a good job, and I love the BET. Shout out to the Black Entertainment Network. They retweeted a clip from the show, and they were like, if you like this, wait till you see what we do. Because they like, we do this. Like, this is what we do. Wait till you see our show.
I'm excited to know when their awards come out.
Also, no Bad Boy.
No Bad Boy.
It's like it's a whole era. It's like, where's...
Oh.
But they probably declined. No Bad Boy.
No, you said Jada and them were there.
Oh, yeah. That is, well, they came out repping Rough Riders. Swiss was behind them with the Rough Riders flag. They didn't rep Bad Boy. So... And
but that touches on that
no
era.
West Coast. Now that I'm thinking about it, no Dre, no Snoop.
Oh, no, those people declined then.
Yeah, they
all declined.
Yeah. I think Snoop declined because I think he was nominated for like 20-some Grammys and never won one. So he'd be like, fuck the Grammys. I ain't going to this shit.
Well, that's what Beyonce going to do. She says, y'all dead to me.
Beyonce, if we can take a moment to... This episode has been heavy. I just want to take a moment to celebrate. She looked so fucking happy. She looked overwhelmed. She looked grateful. That is such a huge honor. Not just, it's one thing to be like, oh, you're the most awarded woman. You are the most awarded human in the history of music when it comes to the Grammys. You, this little girl who had a dream who's still not done. Renaissance.
So much life ahead of us.
Right.
So much life.
Like, what
you don't
else
even
is
know.
Gonna do? So
she better
shout
go
out
sit
to
down
her,
somewhere.
and also that's Black history right the fuck there. And also shout out to her fucking husband, where that was a person that she was tied for the most Grammy nominations. That is the person she's tied with the most Grammy nominations. That's incredible. Shout out to her daughter for being one of the youngest people to ever win a Grammy. Like, come on. I get that we're upset, but there's a lot to celebrate as well. And maybe we need to stop celebrating these white people awards. Moving right on along, shout out to LeBron fucking James.
Yeah.
For breaking the all-time leading scorer record.
About that, but hallelujah.
He's not even a score first player, Shanti. Like, this dude, he broke Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record in less games. He had to get 36 points. We thought he might not get it. He got it in 3 quarters. It was just beautiful to see. It's like
they said I saw they put a shot on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar when he was getting closer to breaking the record, and that man looked.
Yes, there's been all this speculation that Kareem is not happy. He actually penned a really beautiful article about how happy he actually.
How they trying to do it?
Well, no. In all fairness, Kareem has had some what I feel is unfair criticism of LeBron. But it all stemmed from the vaccination thing. Kareem has never been somebody I'm so sorry if y'all can hear this background noise, it's Brooklyn. But Kareem has never been someone who wanted to be in front of the media. He always gave the media a cold shoulder. He's not the most warm and friendly guy. He says, I'm somebody, I stay in the house, I listen to my jazz. I've dedicated myself to social justice, that's what I do. I write, I do my civic and cultural duty, and I listen to my music and play with my grandkids. He's like, LeBron and I don't have a relationship. That's my fault. He was not wrong for saying that. But watching him break my record tells me all the possibilities. It shows me that, like, I never thought that anybody would break my record. And I never thought I'd see somebody playing at the level that he's playing at 38 years old. It's one thing for him to break the record. It's another thing for him to be performing at the level he's performing, putting up the numbers he's putting up at 38. It's absurd.
When are you like a senior citizen in basketball?
He is a senior citizen.
Wow.
He's 38.
Shout out to him. Go ahead, LeBron. And he's a man about his family and his wife and
high school
social justice. He's had the spotlight on him since he was a young man. He could have easily crumbled. 17. He could have easily went future on this. Look at him. Black
fucking history. I'm so fucking proud of him. They released a stat they released information today that summed up they broke his his career out into 3 sectors of the span of time he's played. And they were like, he's had 3 Hall of Fame careers in one career. If he stopped playing at this age, he would have gotten to the Hall of Fame. Wow. If we went from this age to this age, that's a Hall of Fame career. This age to this age, Hall of Fame career. It's incredible. So I get that we can be disappointed, but listen, this is Black History Month and we are the fuck Black history. And we're doing our
the fuck thing. Black history. Yeah.
I can't stand myself, but I meant it.
I love it.
So
Thank you so much for listening. And we invite you guys to celebrate the wins. The wins.
When you whisper like that, I can't really hear you. I just see your lips moving. But I think you said we invite you to celebrate, right?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Very good. Okay. Bye. Fucking long ass episode. Long, child. But I was flubbing. I messed up that clip. Okay. Let me get this ready. These goddamn voicemails. Let me get them ready. They just stress me out because I don't know why. I did listen back on Patreon and you can't hear them that clearly. So now I'm turning them up real loud to see if that helps. But I don't know how else they worked before. It's like this thing is so finicky. You're so annoying. You said multiple people wrote about that or just one?
2.
Fuck. All right, well. Hold on, I gotta pull this up. Not working. Extremely perfect. Hi, my name is Nadine. I know information pronounce the name. Please don't say my name. Okay. I don't know if we need this one. I don't think she asked a question. How do you know? Oh, if she did. Why she both? Okay. Yeah, that's the one. All right. Let me put this on. Do not disturb so it don't ring all out. All right, Sheila. Oh, shit.